Okay, Poppa's House fans. Now, this was the penultimate episode, I believe, where next week is the season 1 finale. This was a interesting episode because it had Wayans sprinkled all over it. Now, I'm going to try to get this right because I was baffled when I did a deep dive into who wrote the show, who was in the show, their relation to the other Wayans. Now, the focus of this episode is Poppa's daughter, Natalie. And Natalie is, of course, Junior's brother. She has been estranged from Poppa for years due to the fact that she despises Poppa because he cheated on their mom, Catherine, his ex-wife. And it turns out she's about to get married. She's engaged for the third time to the same guy, Daryl. And he's one of those muscular, intimidating types. Turns out he served 2 years at Rikers. And due to the fact that Poppa and Natalie aren't speaking, or as he said, no, she's the one who's not speaking to me. Junior has to give Daryl the man talk, like, hey, if you want to marry or even go out with, one of the ladies in our family, you're going to have to, come correct. But with Junior being Junior, and I'm not going to lie, I'd probably be a wimp in front of this Daryl as well. He's not able to do a good job conveying the message, and Nina, their back and forth banter was hilarious. Now, here's what we learned. All right, so I'm going to try to get this right because I even have it written in my notes and I still think I'm probably going to get it wrong. So, Natalie, who is playing Junior's sister, is actually Damon Wayans Jr.'s daughter, Amara Wayans. And she is one of 6 children that Junior has. And rather than her being Damon Wayans Sr.'s daughter, like in the show, she is actually Damon Wayans Sr.'s granddaughter. Okay, so I was able to get through the episode stuff correctly. And in terms of the behind the scenes, okay, the story of this episode was written by Amara, Damon's granddaughter, and Anaya Wayans, who, wait, I don't know who. Oh man, I did not look it up. Is Anaya also one of Junior's children? I don't know. I know that the teleplay was written by Cara and Kyla Wayans, who are Damon Wayans Sr.'s daughters. Let me Google it. Anaya Wayans. If I had to make an educated guess, I want to say that she is yet another of Damon Wayans Jr.'s children. Yep. Anaya is the daughter of Damon Wayans Jr. Bro, I'm just like, man, I'm giving this episode a solid 8 out of 10 just because it truly is a family affair. And like I said, if you haven't watched Damon Wayans Sr. on Club Shay Shay, I'd suggest watching that entire interview. And then if you haven't watched Poppa's House at all, well, you know what? Wait until next week because, what is it, Tuesday? Yeah, because I was able to stream the episode when I woke up this morning. So yeah, wait until next week when the season 1 finale ends. Then you can watch all 18 episodes, but watch the Club Shay Shay interview first. Then watch the series because it definitely is autobiographical. So I know he mentioned during the interview that he actually cheated on his wife. But here's the thing. In the show, it turns out that Poppa did cheat on Catherine, but Catherine cheated on him first. Now, the reason that Natalie is mad at her dad is because she's under the impression he was the only cheater. And because Catherine and Poppa have a talk about this. The reason being is because they were going to get a divorce because Poppa cheated. But again, they opted to not tell Natalie that Catherine cheated first in order to basically Poppa was a martyr. So, Catherine wouldn't be hated. And I guess we can assume that Natalie was 100% raised by Catherine after the split, since she wanted nothing to do with her father. Because if I remember correctly, Junior was pretty much wild and loose when he was with Catherine, and when he got sent to his dad, he was the disciplinarian. So that explains a lot of things in hindsight. And the thing is, Nat actually went in on Poppa about the fact that she has relationship issues and can't have she has daddy issues, and blames Poppa for not being able to have a healthy relationship because of what he did to her mom. I can sympathize on some levels because my parents had nothing resembling a healthy relationship. And the thing is, I have my fears of being like my dad, but at the same time, I know what not to do in a relationship to make it work. So it's kind of crazy because this story is told a whole lot in real life. It plays out in real life. Because I'm just thinking like, Natalie, who seems pretty accomplished in terms of, being intelligent and whatnot, you would think she would know better than to pick some jailbird. And then to flat out blame her dad for, not being able to have a healthy relationship. It's like, really? Like, you waited for this dude 2 years and I don't know. Sheesh. Now, Poppa being the martyr kind of reminds me of like, the Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston story, where I think it was like several years ago when there was like a Whitney Houston documentary. One of her brothers finally revealed that, Bobby wasn't the person that got Whitney hooked on drugs. Whitney got hooked on drugs due to like our family. So, even going back to like when they got together in the 90s, right? It was pretty much the fact that Bobby was always blamed for Whitney's downfall, when in fact, if I remember correctly, based on like what happened in the Bobby Brown story as well as real life, Bobby got clean first. And then the divorce happened. So then from there, Whitney spiraled, but eventually got clean herself. But yeah, it was just crazy because the world looked at Bobby like he was the villain. But in actuality, it was, Whitney who was already, into drugs before they even got together. So I look at the fact that Poppa fell on the sword to spare Natalie's perspective of her mom, Kat, when in fact, her mom was the one that revealed it. Now, if there was anything that prevented this episode from being a 10 out of 10, was a scene where Catherine told Natalie about how things really went down. Because at the end of the episode, Natalie goes over to Poppa's house and, get it, Poppa's house. And he's over there cleaning vinyls because one of the most touching scenes of the episode, and this really just goes to show how the dynamic between Dr. Reed and Poppa has changed from like episode 1. The fact that he's confiding in her about, his daughter and how they used to bond, like cleaning vinyls, like not a word was spoken. It was just like, I would listen to her music and, it would just be one of those things where we were bond, but we haven't had that relationship in quite a while, probably decades based on, probably decades. And she basically encourages him to just keep trying. And you can even tell, like Poppa points out, Dr. Reed is kind of sarcastic in a funny way now. Not hilarious, but quirky and funny. So these two are definitely grown on each other as the show has gone on, where Poppa has become more emotionally open, not fully, but more than he was at the beginning. And Dr. Reed is being less stiff. So yeah, Nat comes back and they clean their vinyls and, they pretty much bond. So from there, she apologized. She's like, because the thing that set her off earlier in the episode was like, when are you going to give mom an apology? I don't owe her one. and now she realizes why. And like, look, we can't make up for the past, but all we can do is, you know, make time in the present. So they bond, and then from there, Junior brings Durrell over, and Poppa gives him the man talk, like gives him a firm handshake and whatnot. And it turns out it was all act, because Junior's like, you know, the best way to win Poppa over is to act like you're scared of him. So this was a good episode. Yeah, like I said, it was you know, a family affair, and you love to see it. So with that being said, thanks so much for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.